Hey everyone, welcome back to another Be More moment. At least I think this is a moment. We'll see how long this moment is. My name is Tachi. Let's talk a little bit about learning lessons from media.
Close the doors, walk across the corridor. We got something to show you. Media is our repertoire.
Okay, so you're scrolling on social media all day, all night. You may be watching television, you're flipping through magazines, and this is wonderful. I mean, we all scroll, but as you're scrolling, are you also learning? Are you also taking that scroll time and that opportunity to better yourself? And maybe you don't think about this because maybe your scroll is purely for entertainment purposes, and that's fine. But my thing is, if I'm already spending the time to look at this info, I might as well put it into practice and learn something. So let me tell you what I learned. I actually let me tell you who has one of the best social media campaigns. Their marketing people and their social media team need to be commended. If you know the brand, the jewelry brand, and the jewelry and accessories brand, Alexis Bittar, you've probably seen them all over the place now. They've actually won some awards. I believe they won a Webby for their social media campaign. So this is what they did. They actually formed a whole cinematic universe around a couple of characters that are based in New York. Now, Alexis Bittar is based in New York. So what they did is they took what they knew, they took what they know, and they turned it into an entire cinematic universe. So what do they know? Well, New York, or at least they're in New York. So it makes sense to draw in the world that they are in, which is New York City. So what they've done is they've created these characters. The main one that we often see is Margot. She is a socialite who is impossible to work with, but she is hilariously funny. And then she has an assistant, a former assistant called Jules, another former assistant who recently quit, whose name is Hazel, who she also called Jules. There's a whole lot of different things. And of course, Margot's husband. There's so much. It is absolutely amazing. If you have not watched it, please get yourself over to Alexis Bittar and watch now. So what did I learn by watching Alexis Bittar? I call it the cinematic universe, as I've been saying. What have I learned from this wonderful social media ad campaign? I have learned that number one, storytelling is so important. They are master storytellers. I am so invested in all of this. Okay. I am so invested in the entire world that they've created that I am waiting on the edge of my seat for the next installment of these things. Okay. So I paid attention to that. Good storytelling is one thing you have to think about. Secondly, timeliness, but timeliness in terms of, I don't know if timeliness is the right, yeah, it is timely. Okay, it is timely, but timeliness is not what I want to say here. Consistency is what I want to say. They are consistent. They will drop when the next episode is coming up. Stay tuned at 3 o'clock for the next episode. And these episodes are very brief, right? They're less than a minute. But they come on and you're like, when is the next one coming? I need to know what happened to such and such. At 3 o'clock tomorrow, 12 noon tomorrow, stay tuned and it will happen. So they are consistent with that. And not only do they consistently come on, they come on a schedule, as my father would say. Okay. So you know when to expect the next thing. So that's another lesson I learned. I mean, I'm already doing that, but this is a lesson for you all that if you're not coming on a regular schedule, think about doing that because you can connect with your audience when they know when you're going to be on, right? To the point that sometimes you don't even need to advertise it because you're so regular, they know you're going to be on, right? Okay, so that's the second thing I learned. The third thing I learned is there was, of course, I'm all invested in it. I'm making comments. I made a comment one time. Margot happened to be she got hit by a car. That's a whole, or hit by a bus. That's a whole other thing. Check it out to find out how that came to be and how that happened. And she was laid up at the St. Regis. Okay, that's her residence. So I was like, oh my goodness, those earrings are everything. I think it was a pair of earrings or something she had. It was earrings. And I said, those earrings are everything. And then I said, oh yeah, and get well soon, Marco. So that was secondary to it. And they saw my comment. Whoever does their social media saw my comment and sent me a message, a DM. Hey, here's 20% off those earrings you were looking at. What? That's another thing. So they are very active in the comments. They look at people's comments. They respond back. They like the comments. And by the way, this is on Instagram in case you don't know. So they like the comments. And it's also on Facebook and they do it in other places. I watch it on Instagram. They are responsive to the comments. So watch what people are saying. Watch what people are saying. So let's go back and review the lessons from Alexis Bittar. This is exactly what we're going to call it, right? The lessons that we learned from Alexis Bittar. Number one, become an adept storyteller. Become the best storyteller ever because people love a good story. No matter what it is you're doing in your videos and live streams, give me from a beginning to an end. Tell the story from beginning to end. Become a great storyteller. You will draw people in. Number two, come on a schedule. Come on regularly. You be consistent. And when you come on, and not only come on regularly, but come on and have a schedule. I understand sometimes it is not possible to have a regular, consistent schedule. However, if you are serious about people latching on and following and always doing that, you need to have a regular schedule. I will tell you this, there are some people that can say, well, such and such comes on whenever they like, whenever he or she or they likes. Yeah, you are not he, she, or they. And I'm not trying to be rude, but we have to understand that when you are a quote, just a regular everyday person like myself, I can't just come on whenever I like. Now, granted, I can come on whenever and I will get people there. But to get a critical mass of people all the time, you cannot be sporadic. You need to be consistent and on a schedule. So that's lesson number two from Alexis Bittar. Number three, pay attention to the comments. People engage with you in live streams. People engage with you under your videos on social media and on social media in general because they want to be answered back. They don't want to talk into an echo chamber, or if they wanted to do that, they can watch and participate with regular linear media. You can write at the bottom of a magazine article, the author is not going to write you back, right? Sometimes, I mean, now with social media, it's made it a little easier to reach out to our favorite writers and maybe some celebrities, etc. But they're not always going to get back to you. But the beautiful thing about some of the creators that are regular everyday people, we get back to you, right? We say thank you for that in the comments. We heart or like what you had to say. So do that because it makes people feel like their presence in your comments and their time watching your video was worth it, right? If there's something you have to offer, do like what Alexis Bittar did. Thank you so much for doing that. I want to offer you 20% off since you liked those earrings so much. Wonderful, wonderful gesture, and it works. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed the lessons from Alexis Bittar. By the way, this is not sponsored. I just so love the way they've done their campaign that I found it imperative to talk to you today about it. Be lessons from Alexis Bittar. Be Bittarish. There we go. So with your next videos and live streams, I want you to be Bittarish. Be Bittarish. So hopefully all of this will help you also be more with your videos and live streams. Until next time, my lovelies, cheers.
Here for you. When you was when you emotionally broke.